Okay, scooch. Thank you. Oh. Good morning. Good morning, YouTube friends and family. It is 7:15 a.m. on July 12th. I am starting in the back because I'm trying to get some stuff done here before the heat comes. So we are set to reach about 100 degrees for the next 3 days in a row. I have some things that I have to do before that happens, and today is the day that it is going to get to that. Make sure I'm sitting up straight. Gonna get to that temperature. I'm putting down, and I'll show you guys, I'm putting down some like drip hose for some of the plants that are in the garden, in the kitchen garden bed. And I'm throwing the shade cloth back up over the tomatoes and the dahlias. I already have some leaf burn on some of my dahlias from the heat leading up to this, which just a few days in the upper 80s, maybe even just one day in the upper 80s, really, no, 2. And I've got some leaf burn. And so I want to get those covered back up 3 days straight of 100 degrees. And then we're going to drop back down into the mid to lower 80s, upper 70s, which is normal temperatures for us around this time of year. So I'm throwing up the shade cloth again. Luckily, I kept it kind of hooked together, so it should go pretty fast this time, where the first time I didn't really know what I was doing, but this time around it should go pretty quickly. And but I just got that drip hose laid for the dahlias that are in the kitchen garden, like in the interior. The bigger 10-gallon pots I'm gonna have to pull in and water, hand water. But I'm pretty much set. I've got a bunch of Velcro. I've got my selfie stick to take you guys with me, and I got my knife for cutting in case I need to use some twine as well. But I think I have a better idea now. I should probably be able to get it done with just the Velcro this time around. And so, yeah, that is my day. We're not going to do a full garden walk today because of that. We'll talk about what I'm doing here in the back. For now, we'll see how my hair survives. The dogs are out here, which is why you are tipping around. Let me see. I'll get you guys a shot of the dogs here. There's Romeo. There's Gussie. No, he's too busy sniffing around. And there's Junie. So they are all tied and going around this tripod. It worked for the purpose I needed it to, so I'm gonna put it up here away from leashes. Ooh, I also got a microphone, so hopefully the sound is better for you guys. And all right, let's go look at drip tape. Put you guys on the selfie stick. Yeah, so that's the shade cloth there. I should probably move that out of the way of the dogs too. We'll take this into the garden with us. The dogs are out right now because it's just going to be too hot for them very shortly. But we'll just kind of throw this on the ground in the middle here, since that's where I'm going to be starting. Okay, so this is my hose. I actually got one of these retractable hoses this year from my kids for Mother's Day from my oldest son. This is a Giraffe. It's one of their newer models. It lays flat on the ground. I love that. I don't have to mount it. I don't have to worry about hanging it anywhere or putting a stake in the ground or anything like that. And it keeps it nice and tucked away. These are just a few clearance plants that I got at Walmart because our Walmart center is closing down pretty much for the season at this point. $3 a piece on some Sun Patience and some little, not Suncredible, maybe Sensation, oh, Sunfinity. sunflowers. They need to get pruned up a little bit, but they'll be fine for the rest of the year. So yeah, that's why the dogs are out here with me and they aren't normally. So I have the hose hooked up right now, and it's just a 1/2 inch hose to right here. You can see this blue. This is the drip line. We'll go around because this black netting here around the zinnias is a little bit, hides it. Here it is, nice and clear. So this is just it's a hose. It's like a fabric liner with what feels like rubber on the inside. And the water comes out of the seamed area and just drips in all around the base of my plants. So I have this running. I got 100 feet of it, probably could have got 150 and would have been beautifully safe. I'm using this as opposed to the sprinkler because I got my water bill, and I was like, the sprinkler is not worth it. But and because this will make sure that everybody gets exactly what they need where I have it pinned down. And it's a little less work for me, really. All I have to do is hook the hose to it, turn the water on, let it go for whatever 15-20 minutes a day, and everything that has this line attached to it gets a good regular watering. I do have it kind of running through, zigzagged through the dahlias, which I have a lot of bamboo stakes in here. I had an idea on how I wanted to stake these up and tried it out yesterday, and I didn't like it, so that all got pulled down. There probably will be less stakes in here. I mean, look at, oh my gosh, it's terrifying. Excuse me. And I just have it like down at the base, and I'm just kind of using the plant to hold it in there. The water will drip out, and it doesn't matter to me from the height that it drips out on these, as long as they get the water. But with the tomatoes and the zinnias, I did tack it down. You can see the landscaping pin right there, like every other plant on the zinnias, just to hold it so that it stays flat when the water is turning on and off repeatedly. And so I make sure that it's at the base of each plant. Now this is landscape fabric that I have down here, this black. It is woven, so the water will leak through. But if this is pulled out like, all the way out to here, then that plant's not getting anything. Not that plant is dead, but. So with the tomatoes, I did every other, and I basically, because I have these planted in a zigzag, was able to use plant bases instead of pins for every other plant. But every other plant is pinned down. Let's see that on this one here, if I can get these leaves out of the way. Nope, you're not going to be able to see it, but you can kind of see it, the pin over there. So that's running through all of the zinnias here, all of the tomatoes here, all the dahlias up this side and down this side, and then this panel of tomatoes. This panel of tomatoes, I didn't have enough to reach. But, there's stuff I'm going to have to hand water anyways. So, hold on a second. Hey, guys, you'll have to go in if you're going to be barking at 7 o'clock on a Sunday. Hey, you will go in. Thank you. Thank you. What are you doing, Romeo? What are you doing? It makes him sad when he can't come in around the tomatoes. He loves tomato plants. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, yeah, so that's what's going on with the drip in here. Now, We did hit 90 yesterday, or close to, I think maybe 89, close enough. And things seem fine. Nothing's laying down this morning. Nothing's crying for water, but I did water on Friday. I have new green bean plants in here, so this is gonna have to get watered. I don't think, I mean, the first round of heat, the temperatures didn't get as high as they forecasted, first of all. They were lowering the forecast as we went along. But this time around, it's actually going up. So I don't think we're going to get that lucky, and I think that the cauliflower is going to bolt. A few of them do have some heads starting down in there. If I can get that. Probably not, but there is a tiny little cauliflower floret in there that is most likely going to be flowers after the next 3 days. These are the peppers. I just threw some bamboo stakes in here with a little bit of twine just to give those. Those are all chili peppers. So 2 lemon drops and a hatch chili. So those should get pretty bushy. I just want to give at least the center of the plants a little bit of support. Whew. This Honka dahlia is just such a great plant. Man, it's huge. It's really, this is one that I overwintered. Let me show you something. These little spiders, these little garden spiders are all over in all my dahlias. They are just loving it. I don't know if there's a really good food source for them in there or if they're just enjoying the privacy. Not sure. But, and now these dahlias are, now here's where I'm thinking maybe I don't need to throw up the shade cloth, because these dahlias that are at the front here are getting the most sun all day long. And I don't have a lot of burn on these. Some of the leaves are kind of crispy, but they are bottom leaves, which are dying off sort of naturally anyways. That one isn't great. I don't know. I don't know if I should just, but you can see this one is like, that's burn. That's burn. That's not from a bug where it's light green like that. That you can feel it. It's done. It's burned. I'm concerned about burn. I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll see. Look at these cutesy little sweet peas. Now, these ones wouldn't be able to be under the shade cloth, but I could pull them in and put them under the shade cloth because they're in these grow bags. These are 10-gallon grow bags. Most of the ones that are inside here are actually 5 gallons. Everything looks good, but there is some burn on some of these that are a little bit smaller. You can see this one here. And then even my really big Mount Hood is getting some burn, but not a ton. I don't know. Plus, I wanted to cover up the tomatoes because tomatoes will drop their blossoms in super high heat. And we have to wait long enough to get tomatoes around here to then have a whole set or two of blossoms drop, you know, at the beginning of July. Just sets us back so much. There's a lot of flowers in here right now. The zinnias I'm not concerned with. They're all big enough. The zinnias don't care. They will be fine, and plus they do have a decent amount of shade in the later afternoon with the lilac and the green stalk there. But look at all the flowers on these tomatoes. I just, yeah, I'm gonna put up the shade cloth. I'm gonna put it up because we would lose multiple sets of flowers, and it just takes so long to get tomatoes, you all know, and I don't want to set that back. I mean, of course they'll continue growing and set new flowers, but again, that's another, you know, 2 weeks or 3 weeks of having to wait for tomatoes. Let's see, this is Cherokee Carbon. That guy's already got quite a good set of fruit. Some more down here. Romy, listen, chickens cry. You just have to deal with that. The delphiniums are starting to come into bloom. They are really gorgeous. I absolutely love these. Hey, we're in a video. You want people to think you're a bad dog? Is that what you want? You want people to think you're a bad dog? Look at Gus. Oh, you're wrapped around Gus. Okay, let me see. Come here, you. All right, there you go. All right. Here's this beautiful columbine with the, not columbine, clematis, with the morning sun coming through. Isn't it pretty? Oh, yeah, it's making me really happy. Let's see. But like I said, I mean, it's a jungle back here. It is a jungle in the kitchen garden right now. Oh, we've got a few sunflowers. And then there was one. Just Gus left out here. He's the best dog outside. Except for that he does try to run around the neighborhood if I don't keep him on his leash. But he doesn't bark. These guys, I was saying, I don't know what any of these varieties are. I had a ton of sunflowers out here last year, and these are all just volunteers. They're huge, huge. Really, really big. So anyways, that's what's going on out in the garden. I am going to put up the shade cloth. I feel like it's worthwhile. And I will take a shot of that once it's up. Okay. Ooh, Gus sees that little bunny. Oh, so I have a new bunny issue in my garden, and that is that there is a tiny little rabbit who seems to have been separated from his family, and he's been living in my garden for the past couple of weeks, which is why like the grass is mowed except for these 2 big patches of clover, because currently he seems very happy to just eat the clover. He's small. He can't really get into my garden beds yet. And so I'm just trying to keep him fed so it keeps him from trying to get into the garden beds for as long as possible. He's so cute. I just, I can't do anything about it. He's adorable. He hasn't really seen Gus before, and Gus has not seen him before, as you can tell. He's quite interested. I'm sure he's hiding under one of the plants, but if I can get a few shots of him out here in the morning, I come out and sit for a while and walk through the garden, and he sits out here and nibbles the clover. Oh my God, it's so freaking cute, you guys. So as much as I know he can be a terror in my garden, he isn't yet. Hey, Gus, don't worry about him. Come here. Aw, all right. You can hear Romy crying inside because he can't stand to be away from me. Okay, so shade cloth is up. It took me about, I don't know, 15 minutes because I was adjusting how far out it came. I want to keep these guys under the shade as much as I can. But you can see it's a pretty decent shade cloth. I think it's like a 40% or 50%. I can't remember. But I did put up a quick video about it when I used it for the last little bit of heat that we got. So if you're interested in in what it is, the brand and all that stuff. It's like a 15-minute video. But anyway, so I have it pulled out all the way to here. I do have it anchored in just a few spots to keep it from flopping all over the place, but the wind blows through it pretty easily. It comes all the way out to here, so some of the zinnias will get a mild amount of shade off of it, but for the most part I'm just keeping the zinnias exposed. They really should be fine. I still have the bunny netting around these plants because yes, they can handle the sun, but no, they are still too small to be eaten down to the ground. Once these guys are more like a couple 3 feet tall, I'll take that netting off, and then if that little bunny wants to come in and nibble on the bottom leaves, he can, and it won't hurt anything. But so that's it. That's the shade cloth. I'm not going to pull the, here we are underneath it, you can see the difference. I can just stand under here. Kind of touches my head. But you can see the difference already, and the sun's not even really back here yet. It's now 8:05. The sun won't be fully back here for a while. But I'm leaving these ones out here because they don't seem to have had any damage or much damage from the sun thus far. So if they can survive, then I'll save myself the stress of having to move 4 10-gallon bags and a couple of 5-gallon bags. I'll reassess that in the morning, like if I come out tomorrow or even tonight and things are looking bad, or like they've gotten some scorch, then I'll just pull them under the shade cloth for the rest of the heat here, because it is supposed to be, like I said, 100 degrees. I think we have 100 degrees forecast for today and tomorrow, and then like 98. Then it's going to be back to normal. If they can handle it, I want to let them handle it, but I can already see that some of these plants can't handle it. And the tomatoes will probably not die or even really scorch all that much, but the flowers will drop. So hopefully this little bit of shade keeps it cool enough that they don't decide that it's better to live than to make fruit. And that is that. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.